audiences, and I am a fan. I'm curious, who among you here are fans? Could be a video game fan, sports fan, anime fan, K-pop, BTS, EXO fan. Raise your hand. Let's have a show of hands for the fans. All right. We have a good number. That's great, that's fine. Well, here's the thing. I've been a fan long before any of you were born. Okay, I know I apologize. That sounds like something a hipster would say, but it's true. I started being a fan when I was about 3 years old. That was me back in the dark ages, about to take my first flight as a fan in my yellow power dress. And my first ever obsession was, let's see if you can guess. It starts with this letter. Voltes 5. That's how you pronounce it. Voltes 5. And I was so obsessed with it. My father, who by the way is named Ted, how fortuitous, right? My father is my enabler, even up to now, even bought me this. This, boys and girls, is what we call a vinyl record. Specifically a 45, and it still works. He bought me this just so I could sing and dance to the theme song of Voltes 5 to my heart's content, which was every day. I mean, I even had my own choreography. Just don't ask me to dance right now, okay? That'll be too embarrassing, no. So this is one of my very precious possessions. So I was one of those children who suddenly became woke. One afternoon, Friday afternoon, when we turned on our TV sets, and lo and behold, there was nothing to behold. Our beloved Voltes 5 was gone. It was no longer airing. Why? Because it was martial law, and it was banned from being put on air. And the reason that they gave us was because of its excessive violence. Of course, we knew better, right? So while we could not bolt in via TV, we bolted in other ways. We found other passions, and I found her. I remember reading Diana in the pages of the second-hand comic books my father would buy for me, and watching Linda Carter beat bad guys on TV. So this became this. I was crossing my arms way before Wakanda Forever happened. And my Wonder Woman obsession, because she empowered me as a young girl so much, my Wonder Woman obsession and merchandise, my collection, even up to now, priceless. And then towards the 90s, my obsession shifted to this TV show called The X-Files. So this became this, like that, X. I was so obsessed with it, I remember I even cosplayed FBI agent Dana Scully, and nobody minded. I memorized all her dialogues just so I could use it in everyday conversations. I watched every single episode religiously, every Monday night, 9 p.m., RPM 9. I was so obsessed with it, it scared even my parents. They thought I was turning into a freak. I bought every imaginable merchandise. And then towards the new millennium, this happened. Tolkien fever, baby. I became a hobbit, or maybe an elf. Who knows? I bought the DVDs. Of course, I've read all the books, even before the movies came out. I've seen all the movies several times in the cinema. I have the Peter Jackson lithographs. I have the One Ring. I mean, I'm even a literal card-carrying member of the Lord of the Rings International Fan Club, discounts and all. Come on, I even paid good amount of money, like dollars, just so my name could be included in the end credits of the extended edition DVD of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And my friends would ask me, Francis, how did you manage that? But were you an orc in the movie or something? And I was like, no, I'm just a fan that way. Ka-ching, right? So I paid a good amount of money for that. And then, the boy who lived arrived, figuratively, at my doorstep. And that, my friends, was a game changer for me. That was the moment when I realized I was no longer just your regular garden variety fan. I was transforming into something else. I became I just had to do that, right? A super fan. All that was missing was a K, really, with an SF on it. Not to mean Super Francis, although I think that's a nice ring to it, but super fan. Well, I may not have a K, but I do have a robe fit for a witch straight out of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. I have a wand, well, several wands, because I have a very nice wand collection. I have not one, not two, but many Hogwarts-inspired clothing. Some of you models here call costumes, but which I call uniform. I have all the books in several editions, in many languages. I can try to give you a rundown of all the Potter merchandise I own, from the humble stickers and bookmarks, to the time turner, and the shoes, and the scarves, and the bags, to my most precious, my special edition collector's item, Tales of Beedle the Bard. And I won't be able to mention everything, because we don't have enough time. I'm that upset. I haven't even told you about the crazy amount of galleons I spent when I went on a 3-week Potter pilgrimage in the UK, searching for the real Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry in Scotland, tapping literally on brick walls in the hopes of entering Harry Potter's magical universe. Suffice it to say, I do have a lot. Lots of toys, lots of merchandise, and lots of fan stories to share. But why is that? Why do I have a lot? And perhaps like most muggles here, you're probably thinking, ano napapala niya dyan? Nakakain ba yan? Well, that's the funny thing about it. I cannot really consume what I've already consumed. Although some people might think that I, along with other fans like me, have been consumed, have been taken in, hook, line, and sinker, body and soul by this capitalist world we live in. I mean, if you think I got it bad, you should meet my friends, they're worse. I can tell you scary tales, the tales of people gawking at me every time they see me parade around on the streets, or at the mall, or at the parking lot, or climbing the stairs to the LRT in public. I can tell you scarier stories of people accosting me in public, accusing me to my face of practicing witchcraft, or worse, that I corrupt the minds of minors because of what they deem to be my unhealthy Potter obsession. Especially when they learn that I actually teach a literature elective on all things Potter here in LaSalle. I mean, how dare she, right? In LaSalle, teaching witchcraft. You know, I've been faulted many times for favoring the fantasy world over the real world, whatever that means. But, okay. I am a consumer fan. Guilty as charged. Those producers of Potter merchandise, they probably have me high up on the pedestal as the main target. I'm the most wanted, desirable #1. But don't you knock it. Some of you might think that I'm just a passive consumer of all things Potter. That I'm this mindless fan out to just buy every imaginable item out there. Some of you might think that I participate willingly in this madness and this consumption for consumption's sake. Well, I might be a little, just a tad mad, but not completely, not on the whole. I mean, in fact, I resent the idea that some people might have about me just being a passive, unthinking fan. I mean, come on. Money is hard to come by. We all know that. I know that. But why do I buy the things that I buy? Simple. It makes me happy. And as that Sheryl Crow song goes, if it makes you happy, it can't be that bad. Fans operate with a happiness factor in mind. If something makes you happy, then go for it. If it means buying that new wand, or having new robes made, or getting that new book, and it doesn't harm anyone, then go ahead. Be happy. Fans are the ones who determine their own happiness, not anyone else. It is the fan who determines his or her own happiness, whatever makes him or her happy. Ever wonder why in some stores, some merchandising stores, they gather on the shelves, gathering dust, they stay on the shelves never to be bought? Why is that? It's because fan consumers are unable to find a connection, any relevance with these items. Remember, if there is no connection, there will be no consumption. Let me say that again. If there is no connection, there will be no consumption. And consumption begins not with our purchasing power, but with our perceived relationship with whatever makes us happy. Happiness is a warm gun, said the Beatles. Well, happiness is a warm one, says the superfan of the witch. And lots of chocolate frogs. You know, fans have always been seen as a small cog in the wheels in the machine of capitalism. But more than anything, a fan is the lifeblood of all things in popular culture. You know those men in expensive suits having meetings in boardrooms right now, talking about, scheming about what to sell us next? They know nothing. Yeah, they're all Jon Snow. They know zilch. So they listen to us. They should, because our opinions matter. We fans, we can make or break movie franchises. There are comic book conventions because of people like us, fanboys and fangirls. They are now realizing the power of a fan. So never underestimate the power of a fan. But fans are not just out there to consume everything and anything. No, fans are not just consumers. Fans are also known for our creativity. How are we creative? Let's say you can't afford to buy a new one. Then make your own. I'm sure you can fashion something out of a tree branch. Or in my case, my very first one was made of chopsticks, which I just bedazzled. You can't afford to have new robes made? Then make your own. I'm sure you can stitch something up out of existing cloth just lying around in your wardrobe. Or how about those fan fiction writers, those Wattpad writers? Some of them have become so successful. They're so passionate about their obsession. They write fan fiction around it. And some of them have been quite successful. They're able to ink deals with publishing houses. And some of the really successful fan fiction writers are able to sell their stories for film adaptation. See? We may not be producers in the traditional sense, not in the sense of those men in expensive suits, no, but we are producers, and therein lies the beauty of it, because we use it ourselves. Hence, the user in producer. Fans write fan fiction, create fan art, direct fan films. This act of creation proves that fans are not just some unthinking, mindless consumers, but we are also creators. Fans can wield the pen, click the mouse, focus the camera. Fans can do a lot of things. And fans can do a lot of great things. I'm reminded of a quote from the late, great Uncle Ben, who once said, "With great power comes great responsibility." You all know that, we all know that, and fans know it by heart. Because fans know that we can also empower. We can empower. We can use our collective voice to magnify, to shed light on certain issues that matter to us. The Harry Potter Alliance is an example. I am the chapter organizer for the Philippines for the Harry Potter Alliance. We are a non-profit organization that engages fans worldwide to advocate for human rights, literacy, equality, the environment, among other things. We believe that fans can make a difference because we've seen it happen, and we will continue to make it happen. The Alliance was able to raise over 250,000 books and distribute it to various libraries and institutions worldwide. We were able to send several cargo planes full of life-saving supplies to Haiti after the earthquake. And Filipino Potter fans are not to be left behind. Pinoy Potter fans have done our fair share when it comes to community engagement. I mean, as a fan, I don't just, dress up and randomly operate at events. No, that would be crazy. I do things that matter too. Whether it's coming up with book drives to benefit our Marawi brothers and sisters, to having toy drives to benefit our less fortunate kids, to cosplay with fans from fellow fandoms, so we can visit hospitals full of sick children. I mean, I can tell you this personally. There is nothing like seeing kids see you for who you truly are, despite the wizard robe and mask and hat that you wear. Or perhaps it's because of the wizard robes and mask and hat that you wear that kids can see right through you. They see you, a comrade in arms, a person with a passion for something. You are, to them, a super fan. To be a fan is not just to be a consumer. To be a fan is to be a superhero. Because we know what it's like to be thought of as that strange kid who prefers to hide in her bedroom playing with her Voltes 5 action figure instead of having tea parties with his or her age. We know how it's like to be regarded as that strange alien nut who loves to share alien conspiracy theories to fellow truth seekers out there. We've been there before in the fringes of Middle-earth. And we know how it feels to be thought of as part of the unthinking herd, the mindless fan, the passive fan. Well, guess what? This mindless, unthinking, passive fan has magical powers way beyond any capitalist can ever dream of. We may not always have the purchasing power, and we know that, and it hurts. But we have something more powerful. We have semiotic power. Because we fans are the ones who put meanings and relevances to the things that we buy, not those men in expensive suits. We are the ones who have the power to put meanings and relevances to our passions. We are the ones who have the power to share what we have, share what we create, and make real what we dream of. We fans have always lived in our fantasy world. But more than anyone, we are the first to realize that reality, though less than ideal, is where we are needed. We know that this world, this real world, can be better. Because we've seen better. We've imagined better. And we will make this one better. Long have we hidden under the cloak of invisibility, trying to protect our real selves, trying to conceal our real identities for fear of being laughed at, or mocked, or ridiculed, or not taken seriously. Well, my friends and fellow fans, that ends now. We are fans, and we are coming out of the cupboard under the stairs. Power to the fan, stick it to the man. Hi, my name is Francis, and I am a super fan.